Okay, so my thriller is called Perspective, and it's about a teenage girl being murdered, and the detective, who's going to play as my protagonist, is solving the murder throughout the film. However, the narrative is told through like the perspectives of several different people. These include like witnesses, suspects, and friends of the film. So the plot of my film is basically this girl gets murdered, and then as he's working it out, you see, witnesses at the scene. They tell like their account of the story, until you come to the murderer's perspective of the day. And then through flashbacks and her perspective, it's shown that she only killed the victim because she was threatening to kill her, and it really was the only way. If that makes sense.
That's interesting.
So that's partly why it's called Perspective, because it changes the perspective on who's the real hero and who's the real villain.
Yeah.
So then she's arrested, and my film is going to end with her in court, with the jury about to decide whether she's guilty or not. So, and then it will end there, so the audience can make up their own mind, really. And then my character's, the victim's called Sadie Parker, and she's a 16-year-old girl at a local college. And then, and when she goes out, she wears like a dress and red lipstick, so she's seen as a troublemaker. But then at the time she's murdered, she's seen as innocent. But then obviously at the end of the film, she's seen again as a troublemaker, which kind of refers back to that, if that makes sense. And I'm going to have Sam playing the victim, okay? But then I'm still undecided on what outfits she's going to wear, so can I ask, do you prefer that coat, or do you prefer that dress? What do you think's better for...
Is it night or
Yeah.
day?
It'll be during the day.
The coat, depends.
But she'll be getting ready to go out dressed up.
So is it outside or inside? Because you said like the murder takes place. So
The murder will take place outside.
Yeah.
I'll go into the locations in a minute.
Probably the coat then.
Yeah.
If it's outside, I'd probably put a coat because you wouldn't
Yeah.
normally walk around.
So the blue coat, and then with either pair of shoes, really.
Yeah.
I think the black one, 'cause all
Yeah.
blue doesn't really.
Personally, I'd say blue. I'd say blue because it would make the character stand out and make him like
Yeah.
distinctive among the others.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people wear bright blue shoes. So.
And my other the murderer's just going to wear a black coat, completely covered, so you can't tell who
Yeah.
it is, really. And then they're the only main characters for my opening sequence, because the other characters won't be featured in it. I'm going to get a couple of extras that are just through the sequence, just going to take a look at her. But really, my sequence is going to start with her getting ready, and then she'll get ready. She'll get a text from her friend to meet her, and then as she's on her way there, she'll get another phone call from an anonymous number, which she recognises, saying, "You need to meet me here, you know why." So she goes up there, and on the way, I'll have the people looking at her, and then when she gets to the graveyard, which I'm going to film it, I'm just going to have her be killed there, and she's going to have a key taken from around her neck, which I'll reference in my sequence. And that at the end of the film, the murderer has the key, and it's revealed when she puts it in the box that's at the victim's house. You find a gun,
Yeah.
which was aimed at her. So what do you think of my...
It's really interesting. I think it's pretty good as well because it's quite what's the word? Unexpected. Yeah.
I like the idea of the whole key. You can as soon as the whole plot ties in, you have the key, which shows everything.
This is the key. It's going to be worn as a necklace as well.
That's quite interesting. I like the whole how it looks quite old. It gives it kind of
Yeah.
effect.
And I've got my locations as well. I'm going to film it at Sam's house, because obviously it's going to be a lot easier for her to get ready, which is the majority of the opening sequence at her own house. And then I'm going to do most of the outdoor shots at my house. So there's a walk from my house to the cemetery, where I can show my credits and things like that. And then there's just more shots there.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I'll have a shot of her getting to the cemetery, walking straight down here. And then, this is just where I'm going to have the end of the credits, really.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
And
the
you've got
whole-
her in high heels so she can't run away.
Yeah.
Oh, easy.
And I thought as well with the heels, you'll really hear them going down the path,
Yeah.
and I can heighten that sound
And that's typical
and
iconography.
stereotype that as well.
Can I ask a question? Will your sequence be set in the night time or daytime?
I'll probably film it in the day for, it's easier to film in the day with the cameras
Yeah.
that we have
Okay, fair enough.
and with timing as well. But yeah, my thriller's really aimed at teenagers and young adults with like an interest in crime solving, really.
Yeah.
So is it going to be like a series of interviews?
Not really. It's almost going to be like, so for example, you'd have the victim's perspective, which is the sequence. Then my first other perspective would be her friend that she's meant to meet. So you'd have him on the phone to her, then going to meet her, her not turning up, and then he suddenly, where is she? And then he finds out what's happened, and that would be his perspective. But then later on in the film, because the narrative will always move forward whilst they're still like showing the perspectives.
Yeah.
So he'll be back there pushing the detective to work and things like that.
It's good because that's like 2 stories within a story, so it's interesting.
But yeah, that's really what it is. Yeah, Johnson.
So what various other props are you can use? Like, what's the item which the person murders?
For the murder, I've initially thought using a crowbar or something, but then I thought that wouldn't look authentic without actually hurting the actors. So I thought instead I'll suffocate them, but because there won't be a lot of time, their neck will break. I think that's probably the easiest way to film a murder, especially when you're not showing the murderer's face.
I think it's effective because like suffocation tends to be like.
And I can show the actual panic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that would really bring in the necklace, which the murderer might
Yeah.
not realise
Yeah.
is there.
But yeah, when she's died, I'm just going to have a shot of the necklace being taken from around her neck, and then I'm going to end it there. Then I'm just going to have, it's going to cut to black, then have the title perspective just in big bold red letters, and then cut away again.
Yeah, that's really good.